Okay, Dr. RJB here, and I wanted to talk a little bit about herbal medicine. Now, um, people who are into this believe that taking herbal medicine is better than taking prescription medications because herbal medications are natural and safe for the body, whereas prescription medications are unsafe. Let me just kind of correct that thinking. Um, the reason is that most of the medications that we use originally came from something herbal. For instance, there's a cancer medication called vincomycin. It comes from a nice looking flower called the vinca that you might grow in your garden. Um, uh, there was a medication we used to use all the time called digoxin that came from the digitalis plants. Also we use animals too. There's a medication called streptokinase that we use to break up clots in the heart. This one was produced from cobra venom. We realized that the cobras, when they injected us with the venom, we had bleeding problems and hemorrhaging. And so they realized this could be used to help dissolve clots in the heart. Um, there are medications that we use come from animals in the sea, different plants. As a matter of fact, before we had manufactured medications like we have today, everything was done by herbal. I read an old medicine textbook, and they were talking about how you gave this herb to people for this condition. You would basically make an infusion with wine and then basically strain out the herbs and drink the wine. Um, Basically, it was a kind of an alcohol extract of the herb. And you can find these, today if you are looking at some herb. One of the ones that I actually use myself is called ashwagandha. It's great for energy, and I use an ashwagandha extract instead of the regular ashwagandha because the regular ashwagandha gives me a stomach upset. So the extract seems fine, no problems. That's another thing that I should discuss about herbal medicine is that they're not always purified. There is no law that says that the medication has to be pure. Um, and so a person could take, a plant that has, let's say, a substance in the leaves that's beneficial. But instead of just giving us the leaves, they give us the flower, the stem, the roots, the dirt that's on the roots, and throw that all into a capsule, and boom, that's the herbal medication. Well, it's not going to be too effective since the part that's good for you is going to be diluted by all the other parts. Um, that's another reason why I tend to go for extracts because those tend to be a little bit more purified. The other thing about herbal medications, again, since there's no federal evaluation of these medications, there's actually a law against the FDA evaluating herbal medications. There doesn't even have to be a standard on how much is in the capsule that you're taking. As a matter of fact, medical schools have done studies of some herbal medication, and they didn't find any of the medication that was on the label. Um, so again, you might be taking this ashwagandha capsule, thinking you're going to get ashwagandha, and you get nothing but, say, rice powder or whatever filler they use, and they might even just color it to make it look like it's containing the herbal medication to kind of fool you. So that's part of the problem. It's kind of like, the people who are addicted to some substance like heroin, they don't know if there's going to be fentanyl in there that might kill them. They're having to trust their supplier. And of course, when you're putting strange things into your body, you take that risk, of course. The prescription medications are controlled by law. You know what you're getting. You know that it has been tested to make sure that it's safe. I mentioned the digitalis plant. Um, if you take too much digitalis, your heart could stop. And don't forget another natural substance is the poisonous mushroom. There you go. I mean, you take in, some mushroom powder, and it turned out that it's one of the poisonous mushrooms that was in there, and boom, you're basically dead. So, that's why natural is not always the best. But I have to admit, I do use herbal substances, but I try to check them out, and I always try to get them from a company that I trust. Okay, hope you like this. Try out some of my other videos.